All right, back here, carport garage. Took the fuel tank out of this one. You see the lines down there. It had 8 in lines. We had 8 in line, 8 AN lines on it, I think. But didn't take a video of that because there's just 2 straps and 4 bolts, and it drops right out. You got to kind of wrestle with it a little bit because that gasoline starts to sway back and forth on you, and it's a pain in the butt. And then you got a couple of wires that are for the sending unit. You got to deal with those. But actually, I didn't have to jack the car up or anything. I'm gonna take it up to Performance Works in Richmond, Kentucky, and we're gonna weld one of these 10 AN bungs on the front somewhere. Shine some light on the subject. So all that is exposed underneath there, so I'll probably put it right here. And then we're gonna put this sump on the bottom of it. And it's gonna have a 12 AN. We'll cap one of them, but there's a 12 AN feed. And Christopher didn't mess around. He got the big pump. So I mean, he pretty much has everything that we need. He needs to put it on. So he'll probably come down this coming Thursday, and y'all, because he's gonna help me put that on there. He's gonna help me with all that. Chris knows how to do all this. He just brought this car up to me. I mean, he built a motor and everything. He just brought this car to me because his track closed down. He lives in Abilene, Texas, and their track closed down, and I live right by the track, and he works for American Airlines, so he flies basically for free if he can get a standby ticket. So he just flies up here and spends the weekend with me, and we go racing. But I said before in another video that it was leaking on them cracks. Those are definitely cracks. But and they came that way. But it's not leaking from the cracks. It's leaking from the studs. Look at that. This side, every one of them are leaking. I don't think the other side's leaking. But look at that. I dried all that out there, and look, it's already leaked that much. But I'm gonna, this one leaks really bad. Focus. Yeah. So the other side, we'll go look at it. But what I'm gonna do, and the thing about it is, you know, people say, well, you're supposed to thread chase some and put sealant on them. Well, I did. Obviously, I didn't use enough. But I did thread chase every one of the holes. If you look back on the video that I did when I did that, because I make the videos of everything. I think that one's leaking. I mean, it really don't look like these ones are leaking. It's just the other side that's leaking. That one might be leaking a little. But I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them out. They need to retorqued anyway. I never retorqued them, but I'm gonna take them out one by one. And I'm gonna put a liberal amount of that sealer on them, and I'm gonna retorque it down one by one and put it back together. But I use this stuff right here. This right here, thread sealant with PTFE. That's what I used. That's what I'm gonna use again. I'm just gonna use more of it this time. And then when Christopher comes down Thursday, hopefully he'll be able to get a standby ticket. We're gonna put the turbo back on it. I'll probably do the head studs tomorrow. I'm gonna drain the coolant out of it right now. I got a bucket down there. And then I got these in case it takes up all the bucket. But I'll probably do that before he comes down. And I'm gonna get that welded and back in before he comes down. But then after that, we're gonna mount the pump, run the lines. We're gonna run a 12 AN from the tank to the pump, and then we'll run a 10 AN up to the motor, and then we'll run a 10 AN return. And that's how we're gonna do that. And then he's got all these switches left over for the nitrous. That plates, I glued it in there, but we're going to run the pump off one of them switches, just because he don't want the pump, which is a good plan. He don't want the pump running when we're doing timing adjustments in the box. And if you put it on key on, the pump's going to run while you're making time adjustments on the box. And he don't want that. He just wants to put it on a switch. Which one of those switches are for the fan. The only thing left over is going to be that button that was for the purge. And I don't know what we're going to do with that, if anything. But yeah, we'll keep y'all posted. I jacked it up from that side, just helping get all the water out of the radiator. And then took the oil filter off way back there, and then that made more oil come out because the oil drains on the passenger side. Sorry about that. On the passenger side. So I had to help all that watered oil get out of it. And there is a drain plug over here. Where is it at? Yeah, there it is, right there. See it? Right there. I'm gonna take that one out too, because it'll all come out of the block, because they can't all come out of the block at the water pump. And it only gets, if you take one of these bolts out, water is going to come shooting out. So I'm going to do one of those bolts. There's one on each side. I'm going to do one of those bolts, that way all the water comes out of the block. I'll probably do this one on this side, that way I don't have to contend with the starter. Plus I've already got this side jacked up, so I'm going to take that one out, put that bucket down there. But I'm just going to let it drain like that, probably overnight, because there's a lot of water in the oil. And with it set up like that, all of it will drain to that side of the pan and come out. It's still dripping. And I'd already drained the pan days and days and days ago. When I jacked it up from this side, more started coming out. So that's going to help. So I'll come back out here and take that plug out of the side of the block and get all the water out of it, because I don't want that water to come shooting back up when I take them head studs out. And that's the only way to get it out of the block. It's the only way. So I thought I'd mess with them head studs later. I need to get all the water out of it first. I still got to take them screws out of the block, but I was having to run back and forth to Richmond for the gas tank, which I'm going to show y'all here in a minute. But I saw a video. I've used parts cleaner on these things before, and parts cleaner didn't work that good, and the parts cleaner is expensive if you buy big jugs of it. So I saw a guy on YouTube. He was using 1.5 gallons of water, and he used 20 ounces of muriatic acid. I used 24 ounces. I put it in that bucket way over there because it stinks. Especially when you put the carburetor in there, it starts bubbling. But let me give you all an idea of what this thing looked like. This is what it looked like before. Actually, that one was worse. The other one I already cleaned was way worse. I'll drop a little video right here of that one. A little before. But here's what it come out looking like. Look, there's still a little bit there. So I'll probably soak this one a little bit more. But look, it got all that off. And I only soaked it for 10 minutes. It got all that off. Look at that. That stuff just works wonders. See, inside them holes look like the top of that nut. Yeah, but I'm probably going to soak this one for 10 more minutes because there's a little bit more right there. I'm going to hit it with a toothbrush and probably put it in there another 5 minutes. But look at this. There's that metering block. Look at all that. I haven't cleaned that one yet. This is the one, 10 minutes in that muriatic acid and water. I mean, look at the difference, man. I'll never buy parts cleaner again, I'll tell you what. This stuff works way better. The parts cleaner that doesn't work near as good, for a bucket that size, is like 50 bucks at the parts store. I bought the buckets, the muriatic acid, this little measuring bucket, and all. I think I spent 30 bucks. But look at that. It works like magic. And I thought I'd still have to spray these holes out with carburetor cleaner. And they were clogged up because I did try to spray them out before I dipped it. And I couldn't get it to go through none of the holes. I soaked it in that muriatic acid and water. And carburetor cleaner sprays right through every hole like it should now. But this stuff is ridiculous. Muriatic acid and water, man. You wouldn't believe it. I'm probably going to soak this one a little bit longer. I'm going to soak that one a little bit longer. Probably another 5 minutes. I'm going to hit this area with a toothbrush. But check this out. Now, he had told me that you want to do the feed and return at the sump. You don't want to do the return on the back because then the fuel comes splashing in. It puts bubbles in the fuel and it'll cause you other problems. So that's going to be the feed and that's going to be the return, or vice versa. And he put his little logo on there. That's where the strap goes. I hope I can get it through there. But cleaned it, painted it, and welded that on there. Very fairly priced. He does awesome work. Needs some welding, and I mean he works on the cars and everything, and does welding and does a bunch of other stuff. But performance worker in Richmond, Kentucky, man. Check him out. Noah, it's the guy's name. Does good work, man. Really good work. Happy with that. I thought he was just going to weld it on there. I didn't think he was going to paint it and sand it and everything like that. But yeah, awesome, awesome. But anyway, the goal is get this carburetor clean, get a rebuild kit ordered for it, and then drain the water out of that at those studs in the bottom of the block, and take the head studs out one at a time and put a good amount of sealer on there and put them back in and retorque them and hope that doesn't leak. And then when this comes down, then we'll hook the fuel pump up, run the AN lines, the filters, the boost reference regulator, put the carburetor on it, the blow through carburetor on it, put the turbo on it, and hopefully maybe even drive it, but we'll see. So I guess Austin did trade off his car. The thing about it is, when he first got that car and was wanting me to help him work on it, I told him, I said, I'm not going to help you work on this car or even put it on the channel if you're going to turn around and sell it or trade it. And he'd tell me every day, I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to trade it, I'm going to keep this one. But anyway, he did trade it, and he said that he needed to trade it because he needed something more practical, you know, because he's got 2 kids now. But he traded it for another 4th gen Camaro. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I don't think I'm going to put his cars on the videos no more, just because he trades them off too quick. And, you know, you post all those videos, and I spent a lot of time and effort on that. And I wanted to see what it did and what the results were. And I wanted to see if the tick went away when we did the lifters. And, you know, we're not going to see that now. So it kind of leaves us hanging. And I don't like to do that to y'all. So I'm not going to put his cars on the videos no more. But don't y'all worry. We still got the main cars we started this channel with. And they're not going nowhere. But tell me what y'all think. Like and subscribe and have a great day.